Okay, we are currently streaming.
Okay. One quick second. Where did it go? Yes. Okay. All right, let's get started, and I'll go ahead and initiate the meeting. Good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me? Yes?
I hear you.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to call the meeting to order, and I got to read what I've been reading for the past year and a half or so, since we're doing the meeting on Zoom. So pursuant to Government Code Section 54953E and the recommendation of the Health Officer of the County of Sonoma, Economic Development Subcommittee will be participating in this meeting via Zoom webinar.
Pardon me, Raphael, it's the SRTBIA Advisory Board.
Oh, of course, yes. All right. So members of the public may view and listen to the meeting as noted on the city's website as noted on the agenda. Madam Secretary, could you please, let's see, a request to record the meeting?
Yes, so I will go ahead and just let everyone know the members of public wishing to speak during item 2, public comment, or during any of the scheduled items will be able to do so by utilizing the raised hand feature, or if by calling in by pressing *9 on their phone. They will then be given the ability to address the board.
All right, thank you. I noticed that the disclosure got a little shorter. So anyway, all right, so moving on to
So if you want me to do the roll call?
Roll call, please.
Member Rumble.
Present.
Member Rivero.
Present.
Member Renteria.
Here.
Member Anderson.
Present.
And let the record reflect that all the members of the board are currently present.
Excellent. All right. So moving on to item 2, do we have any public comments?
Yes, we do. Just one moment. Please allow me to share the screen.
Thank you.
And Mr. Frazier, if you would please confirm your ability to see the screen and introduce yourself if you so choose, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. That's very clear. I'm loud and clear. This is Eric Frazier, and I'm recognized as Truth in Tourism. But lately, of course, we've also been involved in the short-term rental community to push back on ordinances that were passed quickly in the city of Santa Rosa. I'm pretty sure everybody on this call is familiar with that. So I did want to give a little update on that because the short-term rental community contributes in a more growing and substantial way to this BIA fund and committee. So although our forensic accounting isn't complete, it looks like from year 2020 and prior is about $800,000 from the short-term rental community. And now it appears like it may be 100,000 or so a year coming into BIA. This is important because the ordinance impacted quite a number of people. Obviously, the short-term rental community needed to be hyper-organized and continues to be in a growing way. So there's now hundreds of people that have joined an organization. But most disconcerting of all really are the people that were affected that were hosted rentals. So predominantly these are retirement age people, predominantly women that would have spaces, bedrooms in their homes available for travelers. And this was a significant impact. So what we saw when before the ordinance, about 70% of short-term rentals were these hosted operations. And then after the ordinance, that ratio completely reversed. So the cost in the ordinance is actually going to drive up BIA that comes from the sector because it's basically the commercial operators. But left in the track are hundreds of Santa Rosa citizens that were brutalized by this urgency ordinance. And they'll be organizing and telling their stories. And in a couple of months, we'll be ready for outreach to visitors, which is where we'll be coming back to this board to ask for financial commitment to pay for this outreach. So that's one thing. The other thing is because of now the growing influence of the short-term rental community, surely it would be strategic on the part of this board to invite STR community officially into this board. And even though there's some things to be resolved yet about the appropriateness of the assessment, just the same, I think it would be a great idea, actually, and the time is right, to build strong relationships with the STR community. Thanks. I appreciate being able to have 3 minutes of your time. Thanks so much. Have a great meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Fraser. We have no additional hands raised at this time.
I thank you, Eileen. And there seems to be some background noise. So I'm wondering if everyone could mute themselves, or Eileen, if you could mute everybody. And then when they're ready to speak, they can unmute themselves. Thank you. So moving on to with item number 3 is the approval of the minutes. And Eileen, if you don't mind, if you could please promote Charlene as well. And thank you.
She has received that invitation, and hopefully she'll be popping over as a panelist in just a moment.
Okay, perfect. All right, so item 3 is approval of the minutes. Actually, 3.1, it's under item 3.1 is the approvals of the minutes from our meeting held on November 18th, 2021. And if we do we have any discussions regarding the minutes before we approve the minutes? No? All right. So I'd like to hear a motion to approve those November minutes from last year. Anybody like to make a motion?
I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. Someone want a second?
I'll second.
All right. So any public comments regarding minutes?
There are no hands raised at this time.
Okay, further discussion? I don't think so. So all in favor to approve the November 2021 minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Raise your hand. Any opposed? Great, thank you. Minutes approved. All right, so moving on to event support applications, item 4. So we have item 4.1, the 16th annual California Artisan Cheese Festival. Hopefully everyone had a chance to review the applications, and we're going to go ahead and dive into that right now. So let me see here. I believe this is a returning event. I typically just give you guys a quick overview. The request is $10,000. They spend quite significant amount of funds to run this event. It is returning. They did take a pause during the COVID period. They plan to sell 1,500 tickets, recruit up to 500 volunteers. It's held at the Grace Pavilion and Shade Park. And again,
What kind of funds do we have available?
Yeah, good question. Since it is a new calendar year, I believe, this Santa Rosa usually allocates the 25,000, and then the city has the other 25,000. So it's typically a match. So
50,000 total.
Yes.
Do we know how much we've donated to the Cheese Festival in the past years?
I do have that list, but I didn't. Jeez. I don't recall off the top of my head. I do have the list here. Take me a second to look. Cheese Festival. It looks like in 2019, we gave them we awarded $5,000 for their event. And I don't have any prior years. Yeah, so in 2019, it was a total of $5,000 awarded. In 2018, we actually also awarded $4,000. All right, so any further discussion for this line item, for this application?
Raphael, the event organizer is on the line and would like to say a few words.
Very well.
Hi, and this is Judy Walker, and I
Hi,
believe
Judy.
Tom Birdsall is also available to speak if he can be unmuted. We do appreciate your support in the past. 2018 was the first year we moved to Santa Rosa, and so it was very important for us to get the word out that we had moved locations and that we were expanding. 2019, we started to add more activities, and then of course 2020 and 2021 we were shut down due to COVID. So we are moving back, and we were supposed to be in March, but due to the pandemic, we had to move our event to May. So we will only be one day this year, and hope that we can raise enough funds to be able to be back in person with a 3-day event in Santa Rosa next March.
Thank you, Judy.
Yeah, and this is Tom Birdsall. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Tom. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to present. We appreciate the past support we received from Santa Rosa. Yeah, Judy's captured it. We're trying to restart, the in-person event this year, May 7th, with our largest event that has attracted at least 1,500 people. And as our application states, we attract a lot of people from outside the county, typically 65%, and from people from all across the country. So this is a year to sort of get things back going in person. We did just yesterday evening, the Summit County Tourism has renewed their support for us, which is very helpful. So hoping you would also renew your support to help us really get the word out about this festival for people outside the county. So that will promote overnight visits. Festival, and with Judy's great help, of course, creating I think probably the best artisan cheese festival in the country. So it's yet another reason besides beer and wine and food and all the great things about Sonoma and Santa Rosa. We have one more thing to offer to people. So we appreciate your support and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Tom. Yes, and per the application, there's an estimated of 120 rooms during that night, guests and vendors, and the funds would be utilized for facility fees and marketing. So we awarded $4,000 in 2018, $5,000 in 2019. The request is for $10,000 this time around. Anyone ready to make a motion for?
I'll just start with an overall comment in that I think the festival is wonderful. Brings a lot of folks to town. Just like Tom was saying, it's a nice further definition of what makes Santa Rosa, Sonoma County unique and special. So agree with all of that completely. Just an overall comment that has nothing to do with the Cheese Festival is the number of requests that we have on the agenda today. And if you count up the total of the requested amount, it is well oversubscribed to the funds that we have available. So just looking at everything with that sort of lens, but also that is in no way a disparaging comment on the value of this event. So I would love to support this event. I hope the committee agrees. And the real question, I think, is the dollar amount.
Thank you, Peter. Any other comments? Todd?
Yeah, I agree with Peter. I think it's a great event. Not real thrilled about the date, but I mean, it is what it is. I think it is a great event, and I think it brings rooms into the area. And as Peter mentioned, I think the amount of support that we could potentially offer is in no way reflect, how we feel about the event. It's, we have 6 applications in front of us and only $50,000. So, I guess I'd make a motion to support 4,000 with the stipulation that it goes to marketing.
And I would agree with that.
All right, so
And
Todd,
4,000.
motion to approve 4,000. Donna,
second it.
second. Let's see, any other discussion?
Just make the comment if the motion maker is and the second is willing to consider maintaining the level of support that we had the last time around at 5,000 rather than going down to 4,000. I'd support that, and it's not a sword I'm interested in dying on. So happy to get any funds that we can to the organization.
Thank you. Public comments?
Actually, the member Anderson has his hand raised.
Go ahead.
Oh, Todd, did you want to say something?
I wouldn't be opposed to 5.
Okay, so we'll take that motion back up on the. All right, so Todd's making the motion to approve $5,000 for the 16th annual California Artisan Cheese Festival. And Donna, did you want a second, or Peter? Or I'll go ahead and second that.
I think Donna would either technically have to agree to that or remove her.
Okay, all right.
I'll agree.
Okay, Donna, second.
Second it.
All right. All right, we had a discussion in public comments.
We have no hands raised at this time, nor were there any voicemails or emails for this meeting.
Okay. All right, so all those in favor to approve $5,000 to the 16th annual California Artisan Cheese Festival taking place on May 7th of this year at the fairgrounds, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you. Very well, moving on. We have now the item 4.2, the 30th annual Sonoma County Hot Air Balloon Classic. And the request is for $20,000. The total amount of the event is $200,000. And it takes place in June at the fairgrounds. Again, it's another very exciting event. I think they took a break during COVID. It's an
So
event.
the last time they had this, was it at the fairgrounds, or this is the first one? Because I know the others were canceled. Is this the first one that's going to actually be held at the fairgrounds?
I believe so. Yes. Do we have? Yeah, I don't think we have any representatives from the organization, but well, yes. I mean, here per the application, this is a returning event, 30 years. I believe it was in Windsor, Kaiser Park, and I got a feeling that it's the first time that would be taking place at the fairgrounds. So.
In the application, it states that it's the first year at the Santa Rosa Fairgrounds. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, estimated general booking, 80 plus rooms, lots of families. So it seems like it's a very well attended event. Any further discussion? Yeah, and again, given the amount of funds that we have available, I think the total of these six applications comes up to close to $50,000. So
do we know how much we've contributed to them in the past?
let me check on that. See if I can find it real quick. Let me take a look.
I don't remember them contributing any to that event.
I think we may have. So it was canceled in 2020, and no, we haven't. We haven't funded
I didn't
this
think
event.
so, yeah.
They put in the request in 2020, and it was canceled. So we probably made a motion to approve something, but again, it was we did not make the award because of the cancellation. All right, so anybody want to make a motion to approve event support for?
I think, in my opinion, I think it's a good event. Not thrilled about the dates, but I like that it's bringing people into the area. And this goes back to the previous concern is the amount of money they're requesting. I don't know. If someone has an amount in mind off the top of my head, I'm thinking 5, but I don't know where everyone else is at. That's just my thoughts.
If that's a motion, I'd second it.
And I will agree.
I guess it's a motion.
I'll second it.
All right, okay, so Todd made the motion to approve $5,000 for the 30th annual Sonoma County Hot Air Balloon Classic. Peter second. Any other discussion? Any comments from the public?
We have no hands raised at this time.
All right, so all those in favor to approve $5,000 for the 30th annual Sonoma County Air Balloon Classic, taking place June 4th and 5th this year at the Santa Rosa Fairgrounds, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to 4.3, Monster Truck Nationals, and I think I just saw the sign over at the fairgrounds, so it must be happening pretty soon. Their request is $2,500. The total amount to run the event is about $62,000 according to the application. Generates according to the what they mentioned in the section about overnights, 100 to 250 room nights, possibly. I don't know how they track that down, but they do say something about the Sandman, 50 rooms, Flamingo, DoubleTree, out of town, and so on. Well, DoubleTree's out of Santa Rosa, but anyway, it looks like a fun family event, and I think we have funded them in the past too. Let me see if I can.
We have multiple years.
Yeah.
The amount has not been particularly significant that we funded them, honestly. It's fairly small amount of support that we've provided.
2015, it was $1,000, 16, 2000, 17. So we have been funding them throughout the years. It is a returning event. And their request is $2,500. I think in 2019.
I'm thinking the 2,500 that they're asking, I think we can do 2,500.
Okay, is that a motion, Donna?
Yes.
To approve $2,500 for this event? Someone want to second?
I don't know, a second.
Uh-oh.
I'd be more comfortable with like 1,000 or 1,500. I mean, we've been supporting this event for many years. It's not a nonprofit or anything like that. It's I'm sure they're making money or they wouldn't keep coming back.
Yeah.
I think the funds would be better used for other organizations. I do think, I mean, I'd be willing to support 1,000 or 1,500 or something along those lines. But, you know, majority rules, that's just my 2 cents.
So we don't know what kind of room nights they've brought us in the past?
I don't have that information, unfortunately. According to the application, they said it generates a range of 100 to 250 room nights. Attendees.
And they got the Flamingo and the Sandman as sponsor host hotels.
They mentioned that they're working with the Sandman on rooms, and according to the application, they get about 6,000 people attending the event. And they even have it broken down to about 2,000 out of the area, about 4,000 within Sonoma County. I'm okay with $1,500.
You know what? I'm going to agree with that.
Okay, so motion to approve $1,500 for event support for the Monster Truck Spring Nationals. Someone want a second? Todd, didn't hear you.
I will. I'll second it.
Okay, Donna, so I made the motion, Donna second. Any further discussion? No? Comments from the public?
We have no hands raised at this time.
Thank you, Eileen. All right, so all those in favor say aye to approve the $1,500.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. $1,500 for the Monster Truck Nationals event, May 13th, 14th of this year. All right. Moving on to item 4.4. This one's actually kind of an easy one, but I have instructions that we have to vote on. This is the, this is the, if you may recall, back in November, we did approve the Wine Country Distillery Festival. It's also a big event here in Santa Rosa. And they had proposed an earlier date, and because of the pandemic, they proposed a new date. And all we got to do, I understand, is just to approve the new date, which is now August 13th. So any discussion regarding that item? We have already approved $3,500. I believe their request was $5,000. And I believe the total cost to run the event is around $150,000. I have that wrong, but they also claim to generate a lot of night stays. And yes.
This is just moving the date, so you know.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion to approve the new date, which is again August 13th. I'll second that. All those in favor to date change, say aye.
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 Okay, any opposed? All right, so motion approved to do the date change for the Wine Country Distillery Festival. All right, thank you all. Moving on, we have the returning event 4.5, our annual Sonoma County LGBTQI++ Pride Parade and Festival. And this time around, the organization is requesting, or the event support ask is $7,500. The event it has a budget of $130,000. It's throughout a 3-day weekend. I know it's a very busy event. How many room nights? 75. And I think this would be this is the third time they apply for funds. And the funds would be destined for marketing and printing. And I think that was the last year's request. I don't remember if we funded them last year. I know they had the banners and some other things, but anyway, any discussion?
And can we check and see if we have funded them in the past, and if so, what amounts?
Let me pull that. 1 second. Uh, 2019, $2,500. 2020, we approved 2,500. I don't remember if because they didn't hold the event, if we took that back. And then 2021, 2,500.
Rafael, I just want to interject for one moment and let you know that the event organizer is on the line, so I'll go ahead and.
Oh,
promote
yeah. Okay, wonderful. Welcome, Chris.
Oh, hello, welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm on my cell phone, so if you can't hear me, I'm sorry.
We can hear you.
You guys have funded us for the last 3 years that we've had in-person events. I think the first year was 2,500. The last 2 years was 5,000. Just so you know, this year we're requesting 7,500. We're returning to Old Courthouse Square. We've also teamed up with Visit Santa Rosa, so our event is now starting on June 2nd with a Pride movie in the square in conjunction with Visit Santa Rosa. And then Friday night, usually we do not have any activities in downtown Santa Rosa. This year we're doing a meet and greet sort of cocktail hour on the square, utilizing our stage. And then we're teaming up with the local restaurants in the downtown area to offer some sort of meal deal or some kind of incentive to get our folks off the square into restaurants. And then Saturday, we start with our parade. And the festival will be on the square. It sounds like we're going to actually be expanding the festival to take over more of 4th Street as well. And then Sunday, we have a pool party in planning mode. It's either going to be at Great and Rancheria or the Flamingo. We're waiting to ink our documents. We're still negotiating. So, and then we also have additional events planned later in the year. We have a family affair event, which will be in July. But for the main part, we're here for that weekend festival. About 30% of the people that attend the festival are from outside of our area, meaning like Sacramento, East Bay, or San Francisco. And those numbers, all the demographics are in the package that we submitted at the time of the application. But I'm here if you have any questions. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you.
Yeah, Chris, thank you so much, and good luck again on the event. All right, well, there you have all the information. And
I'll start us out in the conversation just to thank Christopher and Pride, just a tremendous partner for everything that we're trying to do in Santa Rosa. Just I can't speak highly enough of the partnership and what they're doing, particularly with their events, and would really encourage us to stretch on this one if we can. I think this is just like we were talking about with food and beverage. We have one of the largest LGBTQ TI plus populations in California, here in Sonoma County, and we should be celebrating that as often as possible. So, you know, I'm comfortable making a motion for the for the 75. We're currently at 15 right now. But just open that up for the conversation.
I'm wondering if I misheard. This is a 3-day event, right?
Correct.
No.
And it looks like it's
Okay.
starting a little earlier
Okay.
on June
I was
2nd with a
confused. I was thinking it was Memorial Day weekend. But I'm looking at my calendar. I'm like, nope, that's not right. My thoughts are, I think it's a good event. It is kind of already a high demand weekend. I'd be in favor of supporting it, but I'd be more comfortable around the $5,000 mark.
Any further discussion? Donna?
So my thought is with the dates that there is in question, I would say 5,000. That's a busy weekend anyway.
Okay, yeah, it's a wonderful event. Been very supportive of, bringing folks downtown, the parade, all of that takes into account, and just it seems to just really engage our city. I mean, all kinds of people come down to Courthouse Square, and I think I've even participated in the parade before, along with Santa Rosa PD. But I'm willing to go with 6.
I like higher
I'll meet
amount,
you at, I'll meet you at 6,000. Yeah. Yes, I would second 6.
All right, so we have a motion for 6.
I think Donna was your second on that.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve the 6,000 for the annual Sonoma County LGBTQI Pride Parade and Festival. Donna second. All those in favor for 6? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion approved. Good luck, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again for your support and everything you do for the city of Santa Rosa and our public. All right, moving on. We have, let's see, 11:40. We got just 2 more items quickly. And thank you again for being here today. The 2022 DJFE, and that stands for Dana Jones Fitness Foundation Triathlon. And it's a triathlon race series. It's in May. It's around the Finley Community Center and such. Anyway, the ask is $6,500. Sorry, $2,000. The total cost of the event to run is around $6,500, according to what Dana states in the application. And have we funded them before? DJFE. Take a look. There was an application back in 2021, and I cannot confirm if we did not make the award because of COVID, but it was 750 times 2. So we awarded the 1,500. But I'm not, like I said, I think the event may have been canceled, and I apologize. I don't have those notes. And that is the only time they have come forward with an application. So this would be the second time. And again, the request is $2,000. And they want to utilize the funds for, I think, marketing. Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve at the 2,000 level.
Okay.
No, I'll second it.
Okay. Thank you, Donna. Any further discussion? Okay. Any comments from the public?
We have no hands raised at this time.
Thank you, Eileen. All right. So All those in favor to approve the $2,000 for the DJFE triathlon taking place on May 1st, say aye.
I,
Okay, any opposed? All right, motion approved. Thank you. All right, and last but not least, we have the returning Wednesday night market, Santa Rosa. Now this one's kind of interesting. I believe it's their first time applying. The request is for $6,000. You know, you guys know that to run this event, it's very costly. It's around ballpark figure of $315,000. And this will be going on actually from May 18th, which we're very excited about, through August 31st of this year. I do have some notes here. The request is to actually pay for a stage. And then regarding room nights, I mean, that varies. I know that there's a lot of musicians that come from out of town, visitors. And of course, it'd be great to see the event back in action here in Courthouse Square. Any discussion?
there's somebody listed as public on the attendees. I wonder if is that the organizer by chance, or is that somebody just from the public?
Eileen, do we have public comment, or do we have
I will go ahead and
Tina
allow,
Castelli?
I will go ahead and allow that person to speak. Because they're named public, I don't know who they are.
I don't mean to force anybody to speak. It's just if that's the organizer, I'd kind of like to hear from them, since this is a slightly different request than we typically get.
Certainly. The individual who has signed in as public, I'm just going to give you a few seconds. If you are the organizer for this event, you have the ability to speak. If not, well, I'll just go ahead and let you just continue to listen to the meeting.
And if you're having difficulty speaking, you can go ahead and perhaps write a comment on the chat, and then we'll know who you are.
The chat is disabled.
Oh.
They have been given permission to speak and have opted not to, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is not the event organizer.
Raphael, if I may, I could add a little bit of context for this one.
Please, Tara.
Hi, everyone. This is my first time sitting in on this meeting. I'm Raphael's backup as city staff on this board. And so I thought I could just add a little bit of context about the Wednesday night market. I'm the arts and culture manager for the city, but I also issue all the special event permits for events that are on city property. So some of the ones that you are approving support for today, but not all. This one is, I think, the first time it's coming to you, mainly because unfortunately the city has a separate event funding program called the Community Promotions Fund, which is not available this year to sponsor large events, free community-focused events run by nonprofits. Those funds were reallocated during our COVID shutdown years, and so they will not be available again until 2023. That means that the Wednesday night market and a handful of other events that are run by nonprofits that are free for the public to attend won't get the city sponsorship this year, which in most cases involved a lot of in-kind services, police staffing, barricades, things like that. So I think that they are seeking other funding, obviously, to help with the event this year, and that's probably why that you have an application before you. Thanks.
Thank you, Tara. So we're ready to make a motion to approve? Again, they're asking is $6,000.
I personally am not in favor of this. I don't feel that this is, again, I think that this is a great event, and I think it's good for the community. And, you know, I like going down to Wednesday night market, but I don't feel that this is what our funds are designated for. I feel that I don't think it's going to bring any tourists into the area. Again, it's a great event, but I personally am not in favor of supporting this.
And I would agree with Todd, because as many years as it's been going on, I've never seen anybody stay here at the hotel that's come for the Wednesday night market.
Thank you, Donna.
Do you mind if I make a comment, Raphael?
Yeah, absolutely, please.
I would just like to add a second layer of consideration for you, that perhaps exact correlation to room nights is not apparent with this event. It does add to a community vitality and a destination that people do want to come and visit to have an event like this here in Santa Rosa. And so I know that the room night stays are a big deal. Obviously, there's other, I think, resources that Visit Santa Rosa puts towards making sure those things are a part of this assessment fund. And so I would just urge a little bit of a broader perspective on what makes Santa Rosa attractive to tourists to begin with, and this is one of those events.
Peter, any comments?
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that that's my view as well. And, you know, I would be in favor of providing some support for Wednesday night market. At 6,000, that's I see that request different than some of the other requests coming in, and so, you know, I think it's totally legitimate to have a conversation about what amount is appropriate. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Tara in that I'd love to support events and make investments that build the vitality of the destination as a whole. And, you know, I'm one vote on this committee, so I get it.
All right, thank
What
you.
amount were you thinking, Peter?
Well, I'm not sure that I came in with a preset notion. We're at 23 by my math right now so we've today spent about half of our available funds. Charlene is here with us, and I know that she's got a vision on what additional events might be coming through, and if y'all wouldn't mind giving her some airtime for a second to highlight a couple of those, maybe.
Charlie?
Sure, thanks. Thank you. I was also going to mention, I believe the amount 3,500 for the Wine Country Distillery was last year's approval budget. So just maybe some clarity in that. But yes, we do have some larger events that will be applying and probably will come forth in the May meeting. So to keep those in mind, they are returning annual events such as the senior hockey tournament and possibly a few others in regards to Beer Fest. We've got Country Summer coming back, and, you know, trying to touch base with those folks as well. So, we've got a great year ahead of us with a lot of events returning, a lot of our annual events that we're so grateful to have, that they've weathered the storm and they're going to be back, you know, with us. And certainly we all love to be partners with them and support what they do.
Thank you, Charlene. And the only thing I wanted to add was they do, you know, their own marketing. They market a lot in Napa, Marin, and you know, sometimes that could potentially bring, you know, overnight stays. But I go back to, yes, community vitality. It puts Santa Rosa on the map, and I think they have a big plan for concerts. So there'll be some well-known musicians at the Wednesday night market this year.
for a little bit more context on that, and Charlene, thank you for the information about additional events. Not to spend money or make decisions on applications not before us, but things like Country Summer and the hockey tournament are certainly things that I would want to support. The Wednesday night market will be in the coming year, and hopefully many years to come, sort of a centerpiece of additional events in the square that, when combined, I think would have a greater opportunity to bring in visitors. The chamber is going to, for example, have a summer music series on Thursday, the following day, from the market, as well as have movie nights midweek, and then is looking at another potential Friday event through the summer. So all of those things put together and marketed collectively, I think, have probably a stronger opportunity to bring in overnight stays versus a singular event on its own. So I put that out there as a consideration as well. So having said all that, I'd throw out, just as a place to start the conversation, of half of their request at 3,000, and wherever the conversation goes, it goes.
Thank you, Peter. Any further discussion before we make a motion? Todd?
I mean, I'd be willing to give a little, like maybe 500 or something, but I don't, we have several good events still coming up this year that I think would be more beneficial and are more in line with what I feel this funding is for. I'd be willing to do a small amount, but not 3,000.
Can we do 1,500 or 1,000? Given that I'm not so well, the community promotions grant is not available. I think they're also running into some other costs that some in-kind that was going to be provided, but no longer there. Is everyone comfortable with 1,500?
No, I'll do 1,000. I just don't feel that we're not. I really feel for the Wednesday night market, and I understand that they're in a bind, but I don't feel that our purpose is to bail out other organizations that are struggling right now if it doesn't fit into what we're doing. I would do 1,000, but that would be the most I'd be willing to do.
All right, Member Anderson made a motion to approve $1,000.
I'll second that.
Donna seconds. Any further discussion? Peter?
I think Charlene raised her hand real quick.
Charlene?
I was just going to throw in just saying that we're welcoming back our annual events. And I think that, part of this is a renewal again and giving folks some seed money again. And I think that we do have the opportunity to work with some of these events, like a Wednesday night market that we haven't worked with in the past, and maybe can look at some additional marketing opportunities for Visit Santa Rosa, for the destination, and so forth. So just another layer of thought.
Yeah,
Thank you, Charlene.
I appreciate that, Charlene. As I was kind of alluding to before, right? We'll look for ways to support Wednesday night market as well from the chamber and all of our programs. And so I'm ready to vote on the motion in the second.
We do need to check with public comments.
Yes, public comments.
We do not have any hands raised at this time.
All right, so all those in favor to approve the $1,000 for the Wednesday night market, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion approved. Thank you. We are about to finish. However,
There is a department report.
department reports, yes, of course. Quickly, we will be planning a special meeting, and I do apologize for having to pull you back for a special meeting, but we need to vote. We have identified a potential member to the board, and we'd like to make a motion to approve his participation. And we also have two alternates, and that is my colleague Tara Thompson, and this is Santa Rosa Charlene Lennon, who will be joining us at these meetings. So that is about all I have to say. And anything else? Well, good work, everyone. And oh, Todd, you were gonna. All right. Well, great to see you all, and please look out for that date for the special meeting. I hope to make it in the next couple of days or so. And then, since I'm getting the staff report to send to the council, thank you all very much. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.